The Dallas Stars fall in the slugfest of Game 6 in Denver as Colorado takes it by a final score of 7-4 to force a Game 7 back in Dallas. Mikko, Rantanen in the Finn line explodes, but it wasn't enough to close it out.
You're Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer of 105 Through the Fan. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. There will be a Game 7 back in Dallas. Where to begin with this one in Denver as the Stars fall by a final score of 7-4 in Game 6. So many twists, so many turns. It was a roller coaster of emotions. That game was anxiety, and we're going to break it down on today's episode of Locked On Stars that is brought to you by Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. Turn into your any TV into an Xbox. No console needed. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to learn more. My goodness, where to begin with this one? It was a remarkable turnaround from the Stars after the first period where they were swimming in their own zone and Colorado was just going downhill. They outshot the Stars 19-10 in the first period, and Colorado had a 2-0 lead, and you're just hoping Dallas can hang in there. Well, they did more than hang in that second period as the Finn line just went berserk. Rantanen with a big-time goal to take the lead. Hintz had 2 in the period. Granlund's breakaway goal was sexy to tie the game for Dallas as well. Necas scored to take the lead back for Colorado. Eventually, the Stars scored 2 more times after the Necas goal and flip the score on its head. Dallas has a 4-3 lead going into the third period, and then all the puck luck in the world was in favor of Colorado tonight. Dallas had some of it this series. Colorado is getting it as well. The hockey gods are just shining down on both of these teams. An own goal pretty much by Dallas is the deciding goal in this game. I don't know where to begin with all the deflections, the ricochets. The Nichushkin goal to open the scoring goes off 2 Dallas defenders, finds its way in the back of the net. But you also have to give Colorado credit. They created a lot of that puck luck. They created a lot of those opportunities. And as much as I sat there wanting the Stars to win, I think we can all sit back as Stars fans and let's just be honest. If I told you the Stars got outshot in the contest 48-26. They got outchanced at 5-on-5, 42-20. The high danger chances were 19-7 in favor of Colorado. The expected goals for 4.36 for Colorado, 1.84 for Dallas. Do you think Dallas would have won that game? No. So in all honesty, Dallas was pretty opportunistic. Mackenzie Blackwood wasn't great in the game. And I give Dallas a lot of credit for that, to be in that hockey game. Because, again, if I told you the final score was 7-4, which team would you choose to who you think would have won the game? It would have been Colorado, right? We all would have thought in a high-scoring affair, Colorado more than likely is going to come out victorious. And it was just up and down. That second period was just insanity, back and forth. Jake Ottinger was phenomenal in this hockey game too. I wish Dallas could have been a bit more tight in front of him. Wish they could have cleaned it up a bit more in front of him, because he was just so damn good. Point blank save after point blank save on Makar, MacKinnon a few times. Just really stellar net minding from him. And Dallas just really couldn't clean it up enough. In the third period really wasn't that bad from Dallas. I know they gave up the goal to Nichushkin. That one felt like it was coming. And then the MacKinnon goal, Steele shoots it off Blackwell. It's like, really? That's how it's going to be. And I think I said this after Game 4. This is going 7 games. It screams 7 games. And Dallas now has a chance to close it out on home ice. Man, this one hurts. It does. But at the end of the day, the Stars still have an opportunity to get the job done, and they have to clean some things up. They weren't good enough tonight. That's the reality of the situation. They had a great period, but they played 20, 25, 30 minutes of a 60-minute game, in my opinion, in a closeout game. And they hung around. Look, they had a lead, and it was very well-deserved. I'm not here to say they just were fluking their way into the lead, but they were asking a lot of themselves to try to just sit back and hold on for a third period. It was going to be tough, right? We knew Colorado was going to come out guns a-blazing, and they certainly did. And I think Colorado deserved to win the game tonight. It would have been such an incredible victory for Dallas with the MacKinnon, or not the MacKinnon, the Rantanen game-winning goal, just the Rantanen and Hintz explosion in that middle period. It would have been such a phenomenal story, but Dallas just wasn't good enough tonight. You can't give Colorado that much time and space, and it was reminiscent of Game 4 a bit. It was just wide-open hockey, and that's not going to favor Dallas. And by all means, they hung around. If their big boys are going to score, all the big boys showed up in this one. Nate just looked fantastic for Colorado too. He had his fingerprints on this one. Oh, there's so much to really highlight out of this game, and I'm not really upset with the way Dallas played. It's not a style of game that I believe that the Stars can win, especially against a team like Colorado. I just don't think they have that. It's not in their DNA. It's not their blueprint to win hockey games. And by all means, they did a decent job trying to morph into that team tonight. But Colorado, credit to them, were able to push back in the third period. And yeah, they got a lot of bounces tonight. The Stars have had a lot of bounces in this game, and they've all seemed to even out. And now it's a winner-take-all Game 7, which I'm already puking thinking about, to be completely honest. I don't even want to think about it. But what a series. What a game. Really, that second period, one of the most wild periods I've ever watched. Just the roller coaster emotions. Stars strike twice. Okay, here we go. Then Nate just scores like a minute and a half later. That hurt. And then boom. Hintz, Rantanen. Stars have a lead. Some excellent plays too by Rantanen on all four goals that we'll get to and we'll discuss in the next segment. But just incredible. I mean, Stars went 1-for-1 on the power play. Hintz got the power play goal to get Dallas on the board in that second period. But you look at a lot of numbers, right? Outshot 48-26. Faceoffs were 50-50. Stars out hit 45-19. I read you the chance numbers. Like there just wasn't a whole lot for Dallas. And yeah, I mean, what? Nichushkin's goal was a fortuitous bounce. Makar kind of fans. MacKinnon was right there. That wasn't really lucky though. Ceci just allowed MacKinnon to go right in front of him to get the tap in. Like Ceci's got to mark him. Ceci has to mark him to keep that goal out. Yes, it was a lucky bounce, so to speak, but Ceci's there. He has to mark MacKinnon, who just gets on the inside, and it's a tap in for him past Ottinger for the second goal. Nature's goal was beautiful. Nichushkin's was good too. I mean, just a rebound. Looked like Dallas defended it pretty well, and the rebound goes right off the midsection of Nichushkin, and it's a nice play by him in one motion to swat it home. And then obviously the MacKinnon goal, the own goal. It's just, you just can't help but laugh sometimes. You can't help but laugh. And Blackwell did as well. It was just a reaction when the puck's coming to him to like chest it. If he doesn't chest it, it probably just drops straight or goes to the corner, but he reacted because it was up near his face, and it's just instinct, and it's, my goodness. And there's going to be a Game 7. Going to be a Game 7. What a fun hockey game at the end of the day. And, I mean, it stinks Dallas didn't close it out, but they simply didn't play good enough tonight. They played well, but they weren't the better team in this hockey game. Ottinger was playing on his head. Blackwood wasn't particularly great in the game either. And Ottinger just kept making those huge saves time and time again. The one he made on Makar right before the penalty taken by Colorado to put Dallas on their lone power play. That was massive. And I mentioned too, I did not think there was going to be very many penalties in the game. There was a total of 3. The one late was just bogus. Really didn't matter at the end of the day. Dallas did a good job of killing it off, but just three penalties total in the game, which was a nice change of pace after having felt like 6 power plays in each game combined. So not a ton of special teams. And oh man, I mean, this game just had a little bit of everything. It was on crack. And it was such an anxiety-filled 3 hours watching that game. And credit to Dallas for getting themselves back in the game, and they just couldn't close it out tonight. And it was always going to be a tough challenge, going to be really, really tough. And Colorado created a lot of their luck. They were fantastic tonight. I thought Dallas was fantastic. This is, I think, what a lot of people expected in this series a bit, just the big boys kind of going back and forth. That hasn't really been the case in the first 5 games, and it happened here. Game 7, who knows what's in store, and it's going to be quite the doozy for Pete DeBoer, who's undefeated in Game 7. Really, really stings. It does, but man, a chance to take it on Saturday night, and Dallas has to clean up in front of their own net. That's really what I think this game comes down to. Just have to be better in front of Ottinger. The MacKinnon goal, wide open. And that was also, Dallas got sucked in. You saw Makar was wide open at the tops of the circles because Dallas was puck watching. All 5 guys were below the zone or below the tops of the circles. And it allowed Makar basically a free lane, just way too much space in front of their own net. Nate just got lost on that goal. It was a great pass by Makar too, who had a great night. He got on the score sheet. Nichushkin too was just unmarked in front of Ottinger, the rebound goal he scored. Like, yeah, they had some luck, but at the same time, Colorado's getting to the front of the net. They're getting to those spots, and you're going to create luck when you filter pucks to that area. And Dallas has to be better. 3 or 4 of the goals for Colorado, just guys unmarked right on top of the crease, and they buried their chances. And Dallas has to be better there. The CCs of the world, Labushkin, he had a bit of a rough game tonight too. They lost a few battles early, and it did them in tonight, right? And we talked about this. If they're not gonna, they're not going to be a stout team defensively. So they gotta score, but they also got to clean some things up, and they just weren't clean enough tonight. That's what happens. So back and forth we go. I mean, game 4, 5, and 6 have been crazy. 4-0 Colorado, 6-2 Dallas, 7-4 Dallas. Again, I think really all those scores. Well, besides game 4, the scores maybe don't tell the whole story. And here we are, game 7. What a game. I mean, really, really speechless. Just back and forth, emotional roller coaster. But the Finn line, my goodness. Let's talk about that for a moment. I have to highlight Rantanen and company. He's pretty good at hockey, isn't he? Do that in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you just stop managing your money, you start building wealth. You realize just how much you spend on food delivery and all other sorts of extracurricular activities when you get Monarch, because you start to budget smarter and you get used to always ordering out, maybe going out to eat. Monarch Money will help you start budgeting and save more money. You can track your spending, even plan long-term goals. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Code LOCKEDONNHL for half off your first year. Well, it was a tough game for the Rantanen is lazy cancer to the locker room crowd. That's for sure. He was brilliant along with Hintz, man. They were special tonight. And Granlund's been really good in the series, and tonight he got rewarded. That was such a sweet goal. I've been shocked too. Like Taze and Makar defensively have not been that amazing. That Granlund goal, Makar just allowed Granlund to get behind him, and it was a beautiful array of passes too. The two goals that Rantanen set up, the Hintz and Granlund goal, just incredible plays off the wall, shielding away, protecting from a defender, and just kicking it to the middle of the ice for Hintz to gallop through. And he makes one pass. Granlund's off to the races, and then of course Hintz galloped in to rip one far side against Blackwood to find the back of the net to tie the game at 3 in that second period. Such a sweet goal too for Rantanen off the feed from Hintz along the wall. Just a beautiful, quick little stick handle and just sifts it through the 5-hole of Blackwood. Man, when he scored, you just thought, man, maybe it's the Stars' night. Maybe it's the Stars' night. I was up and off the couch after that one, but there was a lot of hockey to be played. But gosh, that line just went on a mission in the second period. And those were some sick goals. I'll do it one more time. Just sick goals from Hintz. I mean, those were some pretty plays. Even the Hintz power play goal was just a really nifty setup from Rantanen from the goal line, goes behind his back to move it out in front. Blackwood made a nice save on the initial shot from Hintz, and then Coyle came kind of sliding in, and he ended up knocking the puck into the net. But man, that Finn line just went off, and it just every shift they were on the ice, they just could not be stopped. And I think that's a really good sign for Dallas heading into Game 7 too. They picked up where they left off in Game 5, and for the most part, they were a bit quiet heading into Game 5 in Dallas. And well, now they're starting to finish. They're starting to execute. And it's wonderful to see. And it stinks. Again, I'll say this with a caveat. It absolutely stinks that it comes in a loss like this. But it is important to highlight that line was phenomenal tonight. But you also have to see, we didn't get a lot from others. Johnston line was a bit quiet. Johnston individually, I thought he had some decent plays. But Ben, Dadonov, not a lot from them. I am curious to see the shot on goal totals. Hintz had 5. So yeah, Johnston had 3. Ben had 1. Dadonov had 1. But not a whole lot from that line. Duchesne and them, I thought they had some good shifts too. I think Duchesne picked up a helper. Maybe Joe Johnson picked up a helper on the power play goal. Duchesne had some good moments, especially in the offensive zone, switching directions. I thought he was going to score. I think Dallas tied at 3 when, and then Duchesne had a phenomenal look like moments after, but he missed the net. Yeah, Duchesne, no shots on net. The fourth line we didn't get a lot out of. Unfortunately, the one play they kind of made that had an impact was the own goal, but they weren't awful by any stretch. Curious to take a look at the scoring chance numbers for the 4 groups at 5-on-5. Let's take a peek here. Granlund had 7. Rantanen had 7. Sagan 7. Johnston 7. So, I mean, there's a lot there, but you also have to look at the scoring chances against. 11, 20 when Ceci was on the ice, right? So, yeah, Dallas was creating some chances, but they were just giving up way too much, and they have to shrink the rink a bit. They have to shrink a rink. Transition games for Colorado just flying up and down. And look, Colorado had some turnovers too at the line that fed Dallas, and Dallas sort of had similar issues themselves. They got better as the game wore along. That first period, they just could not get settled in, and they got better as the game wore along, but it just still wasn't great. It still felt like watching the game, even after Dallas had the lead, you kind of feel like Colorado's going to tie the game. It was sort of one of those games, in my opinion, where I'm watching just thinking, okay, if you get to overtime, you can find a way to win. But in regulation, even with a one goal lead, you're just like, it's going to be a long 20 minutes. And Dallas, again, they just weren't able to shut down Colorado, just not able to keep Colorado away from the front of their net. And the Avs were just throwing pucks on net, and they were creating chances and looks. Let's look at the third period. Avs outchanced Dallas 6-2. It wasn't really a high event third period. So, the third period, weirdly enough, wasn't Dallas's worst period. But again, 2 scoring chances, it's not good enough. And Dallas had how many shots? 7, which, it's okay. That's 7 shots. But again, none of those were high danger. No high danger, and the expected goals 0.18 for Dallas in the third period, 5-on-5. You're just not going to win. You're not going to close out games that way. That's for sure. It just felt like Dallas had to get the next goal. If they go up 2, maybe they take the will out of Colorado, but Nichushkin scores, and then it snowballed a bit for Dallas. But man, that Finn line had one of the best periods all season for Dallas. That was something, and a lot of fun to watch. Leaves a sour taste. It comes in the loss, and that sets us up for a Game 7 in Dallas. So let's get into that for a bit. A bit of a precursor before Saturday night here on Locked On Stars. Just like last year, 7 games against Vegas, 7 against Colorado. Let's talk about it in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe, or sign in to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to go. Dive into hundreds of premium titles, including EA Sports, College Football 25, to Call of Duty, as easily as you stream your favorite shows. Did you know Xbox titles are all up front for you if you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate? Already have a console? A Fire TV Stick 4K device is more affordable and easier to travel with, allowing you to take you and your games wherever you plug in. You can find yourself between apps. They also have everything in one place, like Netflix to YouTube and beyond, so you have all your entertainment choices, plus the added ability to have an Xbox with you. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K, Fire TV Stick 4K Max, and Fire TV Cube. Game 7. The most exciting words in the entire English dictionary, and we have one. We have one again in Dallas for the second straight season. Pete DeBoer did mention he was disappointed with some of the bounces, frustrated with some of the calls in the game, and I get that to some degree, but I don't know if the calls had a huge effect on the outcome. Obviously, the Makar one, the interference on Granlund didn't help because it forced you to kill at a time when Dallas was trying to find some momentum. So I'm not going to say didn't have an effect on the game, but Dallas was able to kill it off, and they buckled up. And part of this, he's probably making a complaint because Colorado did that after Game 5, and maybe they benefited from it. So it's that sort of chess match game post. Bichel, by the way, what a warrior. DeBoer said he's fine. Nothing further on his injury, whether that means anything or not. But what a warrior from Bishop. He took a nasty fall, and I probably should have brought this up earlier. That was scary, scary sight. And he's such a massive just massive part of Dallas right now, the Stars, and you just could not afford to lose. I could not believe he came out in the third period when I saw his first shift and he touched the puck. What a warrior. He's played fantastic in this series. So, DeBoer has been pretty remarkable in game sevens. I think he's 8-0. And this one's going to be tough. Avs 0-6 in their last game sevens. Pete DeBoer 8-0 in game sevens, including 3-0 against the Avs. So here we go. So maybe Dallas is due, or maybe the Avs are due, or maybe the trend continues with Dallas. Again, I think Dallas has to be really, really happy with what they've done here in this series. And I completely understand there is no moral victories this time of year. Nobody feels sorry for Dallas. But Stars have gone toe-to-toe with a really phenomenal Stanley Cup contender without two of their best players. And they still have a chance to put them away. That's why I thought Game 5 was so important. They lost that one. It just did not feel plausible to me to have to win 2 in a row, including one on the road. You won Game 5. You just need to win one of the two. And they give themselves a chance to do that on home ice, where they've been pretty good. Just played their best game of the series on home ice just a few days ago. Again, 2 days of rest. The 3 wins Colorado has, more than 2+ days of rest. And so we'll see if trends analytics get kicked to the curb once again for Game 7. They're still awaiting a time. It looks like it's going to be the lone game because Edmonton finished off LA tonight. Kings are awful. They aren't awful, but they blew that one. They really did. It's going to be the lone game, so it actually will probably be a decent time, probably like 7:30. Hopefully, won't be one of these late starts. It's going to be the lone game. I think it's going to be the last game of unless Winnipeg, St. Louis goes to 7 games, could be the last game of the first round. So all eyes will be on Dallas and Colorado. Man, I really am looking forward to it. I don't get to watch it live, which absolutely stinks. I'll have to be calling a game. So I'm going to be absolutely sweating watching the score. And maybe that's better. Game 7s are so anxiety ridden, but they're the best things ever. So I'm looking forward to it in a lot of ways. Again, I've been pretty optimistic in this series. I think a large part of that is I didn't have a lot of high expectations coming in without Miro. I really didn't. And Dallas has just been has been up to the task for a large part of this series. And look, they may have been outplayed, but now all you got to do is play a 60-minute game, hopefully fully, and you have a chance to win and move on. And that's all it is, right? Survive in advance. We touched on that last episode. Survive in advance. I expect a much better game from Dallas in Game 7. When they look back at this, they're going to be frustrated because it felt like they had it in the palm of their hands, but they also weren't good enough tonight. And I guess you can find some solace in the fact, hey, we were right there, we weren't great. So you come back home, and you get after it. You get after it. That's all I got. 8-0. Pete DeBoer in Game 7, 3-0 against Colorado, and the Avs are 0-6 in their last 6 Game 7s. Crazy, crazy stuff. Something will have to give. I'll see if I'm able to maybe get with Locked On Avs, Chris again. I know we mentioned maybe having another conversation if it did go to 7. We'll see with schedules and whatnot. It's going to be a busy weekend. I got games to start tomorrow and Saturday, so I'm going to be a bit busy. So I don't know when the last episode I'm going to get out. It may be Sunday. It may honestly be Monday, and hopefully it's not a recap of 2024-25. Hopefully it's we're moving on. So have a great rest of your day, Stars fans. Again, thank you so much for all of you that are new, that have subscribed, that have joined the bandwagon here on Locked On Stars. Appreciate all of you. I love doing this, and it's been an absolute blast so far, and I hope it continues for a few more weeks. So have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend, Stars fans. Enjoy Game 7, and we'll be back with another episode in just a bit. So we'll see you then. So long, Stars fans.